How are you, football fans? Tomorrow, you can stream Fulham v Liverpool and Everton v Chelsea. That's an amazing Paddy's Day lineup for a one-off payment of just €10. To grab a Now TV Sky Sports Day Pass and only pay for the games that matter to you, search Now TV today. Content streamed via internet, full terms at nowtv.com.
Welcome to Take Two Radio. We are pleased to bring you interviews with people in the entertainment and music industry, discussions and recaps of the 4 remaining daytime soaps. That's The Bold and the Beautiful, The Young and the Restless, General Hospital, and Days of Our Lives, as well as various other shows. For upcoming and previous shows, check take2radio.com. That's with the number 2. And you can find us on Blog Talk Radio, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and other streaming apps. Follow us on social media at Take Two Radio, and thanks for listening.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Take Two Radio. I'm your host this evening, Anthony, and I am joined by the incomparable David.
How are you, everybody?
Wonderful Carolyn.
Hi, everybody.
And always fun to be with Casey.
Hello.
This evening, we have a very special guest with us. She really needs no introduction, but I'm going to do it anyway. You might know her from Passions, where she was fiery and a little magical and definitely a schemer. You might remember her from The Bold and Beautiful, where she was fiery. Maybe not so magical, but definitely a schemer. Or you might know her as the iconic Tina Lord Roberts from One Life to Live. That iconic moment when she went over the falls or stumbled into Cord's wedding. But you also might know her from her newest project, Rocking the Couch, a documentary focusing on the Me Too movement. It's raw, it's powerful, and if you haven't seen it, you need to get on your devices, your televisions, and take a look. I, of course, am talking about the incomparable icon, Miss Andrea Evans. Welcome.
Hey, hi, everybody.
Hi.
Thank you for coming this evening.
How are all you guys?
Wonderful. How are you?
Now that you're here.
Wonderful.
Well, thank you. I'm happy to be with you.
Yeah,
how's the weather where you are?
How's the weather where I am? Well, I'm in Southern California, and it's sunny. Big surprise.
Before we jump into the interview, I would like to just send a shout out to Pam, our faithful leader who is in the heart of the country facing some storms. She really wanted to be here, but I have her questions for you. And let's start out with, why don't you give us your tagline for the documentary?
My tagline for the documentary? We feature a quote. And it's funny, it's a quote that's been given to Winston Churchill, I think Albert Einstein. We don't even know where it comes from, but those who do not learn from history are condemned to repeat it.
Absolutely. So we always start on our celebrity interviews with what brought you to the business. If you can tell us what brought you to acting and then what brought you to this project.
Oh, gosh. What brought me to acting? Well, it's really pretty much acting is the only job I've really ever had. I started when I was 10, and for those who have followed me on One Life to Live for a long time, you know that Tina and I were, teenagers when we grew up together, and I just knew I always wanted to do it. And your second question was what brought me to the documentary?
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because, I was having coffee with one of my very best friends who happens to be the other executive producer and director of this documentary. And he's a director I worked with on a film I did about 8 years ago called Hit List. And it was right in the middle of the whole Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby stuff. And we kind of turned to each other and said, somebody's going to make a great documentary about this. And then we just looked at each other and we're like, okay, let's do this. So we did.
You know, this is from Pam. This documentary is very powerful for women, of course, but not just women. Can you speak a little bit to what the end motivations were and how you feel it will affect anyone in the business and anyone in real life?
What my motivations were for doing it, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, obviously I am a woman in the entertainment industry, and sexual abuse and harassment has been very prevalent and blatant within the entertainment industry. Not that it isn't prevalent in probably every other industry that there is. But this is the only industry I know. And it's also the only industry I know where there's an actual term for it, being the casting couch, hence the title of the documentary, Rocking the Couch. But it was just very important for us to tell the story. What we saw was the truth of it. I think with the Harvey Weinstein thing and stuff, you got caught up with a lot of A-listers giving their story, where in reality I think the largest amount of people who are sexually abused and harassed are those people who just come to town, are those people who are just trying to get a foot into the business, you know, and those are the people that are most affected. So we wanted to feature a lot of those stories and just tell the truth of how it is, and also the fact that, you know, everybody knew what was going on. When you heard these A-listers saying after Harvey Weinstein that they had no idea, they're lying. Everybody knew. We all saw it. Everybody knew it. It was very prevalent.
What do you think was the catalyst for so many people coming out and standing up? The time it just sort of started to snowball, what do you think was the original catalyst?
Well, I think there's been a societal shift. And I think maybe it started with the whole scandal of the Catholic churches with the priests and the young boys and all this. But I think there's been a seismic shift where, as a society, we're actually now starting to listen to the victims. It very much used to be for millennium. If you, I mean, they even had the phrase cried rape. I mean, there's no phrase for cried thievery or cried burglary or whatever, but there was always cry rape, like that people that said things like this happened were just making it up. And so society didn't really listen to them. These people were put on trial more than the actual perpetrators of the crime. So I think there's been a societal shift, and we're now actually listening to the victims. And they need to be heard for themselves and for everybody else, and to learn to protect yourself.
Absolutely. What kind of feedback have you gotten from women who have viewed the documentary and may have had incidents in their own past?
Oh, we've gotten wonderful feedback from people, and great reviews. If you go to Amazon Prime, you can see we've gotten some really, really great reviews, and I know a lot of the women that are featured in our documentary. We're so happy to be able to speak. We're so happy to be able to tell these secrets that they've been holding in all these years. And I think that speaks to a lot of women, and probably men out there too. We don't want to not say that this happens to men. It does. And I think in Hollywood it's also very prevalent amongst the gay population, you know, and, you know, everybody is affected by this. You'd be hard-pressed to find a woman in your life that has not experienced some kind of sexual harassment.
I've seen a couple of comments online. There's another pretty famous documentary at the moment. I won't mention any names, but I've seen a couple of comparisons, comments that basically state the difference for the 15-minute syndrome versus someone really telling their raw emotional story. Was there at any point where you had to dial anyone back? And if so or if not, how did you bring that, how did you go home and turn that off? Because it is very gut-wrenching and dark.
Well, we didn't have to turn anybody off or tell them to dial it back, but I have to tell you, it was very difficult to listen to. It was, And I was present for every interview that you see on screen because I wanted to be there. I wanted to, as the only female producer. I mean, there were 2 segments done in Florida that I was not there for, I should say. But for everything I could, I wanted to be there because I wanted the women being interviewed to feel more comfortable with another woman in the room, somebody that could empathize with them. And it was very hard at times to be strong for them because it was so difficult to hear the stories and see how it affected them. And, you know, these women are heroes. They're heroes for coming forward and telling their truth. And hopefully some good will come from it.
I have 2 more of my own personal questions, and then I'm going to pass it off to David.
Okay.
We all of us that are fans know that you had some dark periods in your life. When you approached the project, was this cathartic for you? Did it give you more a sense of closure or pushing forward based upon what you've been through?
Well, I assume you're referring to the stalking incidences, and yes, because those are also crimes of, I mean, somehow they're kind of all connected, although not entirely. And what was therapeutic for me was maybe at least attempting to help other women, not in the exact same situation, but to help other women. You know, it was very therapeutic for me. It was, and I hope people that see the documentary will continue to be helped.
Awesome. Now I'm going to bring it to soaps. And before I ask my question, I'm just going to say thank you. I started watching when I was 3 years old at the foot of my grandma, and Tina was the first character that I was going to grow up and marry her. I didn't realize that there was a person behind Tina for quite a few years, but there was something so gripping about the emotion, the raw vulnerability that you put into that character. So I just want to thank you for my introduction into the soap world. Having said that, there's a lot of buzz going on about possible reboots for the 2 ABC shows. Where do you think Tina might be, and would you be interested in picking back up to see where Tina is now if something like that does go through?
You know, it's funny. I was talking to my daughter because I saw online, you know, fans writing about this, and I thought it was just kind of like fan wishful thinking or something. I didn't think there was anything really behind it. Then I saw the articles where the people at ABC were really, really talking about this, and I remember at the time when they won the rights from Prospect Park, I remember thinking, well, there's some reason they're fighting for these rights. I don't know what's going to happen with it, but they're fighting pretty hard to get this back. So that doesn't entirely surprise me. And also, we've seen a reboot of everything, you know, so why not these shows? I personally would love to do Tina again. Tina is very close to my heart. Where she would be is probably in trouble somewhere. That would be my best guess, is she is in trouble as we speak.
Not in Argentina, though.
Well, you never know. She may have gone back. I don't know.
Well, I'm going to turn it over to David.
Okay. Thank you, Anthony. Andrea, in the documentary, they have the police have actually defined sexual harassment and sexual battery in 2 different terms. How do you feel that the definitions have protected women both in and out of the business?
Wow. Well, you know, it's. I have to tell you something funny about the definitions, and we had our criminal defense lawyer on there saying what the definitions are. And to this day, even though I helped, you know, watch the editing, I've seen this documentary a million times, I still get them confused. You know, the terms, and I think as a society we all use them, you know, we willy-nilly. You know, we use one for meaning the other, and it gets very, very confusing. I don't know what you mean by how the terms have helped women. I'm a little confused by that question.
I can. Do you think that now that those words have been more defined, that they help them more, or because it can help put away the perpetrators more once? Because back when it really wasn't, anything. I think maybe that's how they got away with it more, because there wasn't much to. They couldn't define it back then. More so today. Now.
Right. Well, I think knowledge is power. However you want to put it, and I think if a woman knows exactly what happened to her, or a man. Again, I have to say men too. We don't want to leave you guys out. Although you'd probably like to be left out of this particular part. But,
amen.
Yeah. I think any kind of knowledge is power. And the reason we included somebody explaining the definitions was in part to protect yourself so that you know. And, heaven forbid something happened to you. This way you can label it. You know what it is. You can choose to go to the police. You can, choose to take action however you wish. But it's always more powerful to have that knowledge in your pocket. So hopefully it helps women.
Yeah,
hopefully I answered
agree.
Your question.
Yes, you have. On a more lighter note for you, Mother's Day is just around the corner, and not everybody knows. I'm sure. I know. Not everybody knows. It sort of holds a special meaning to you, which I looked it up. Would you mind? What does Mother's Day mean to you and your family in particular?
Well, my daughter was born on Mother's Day, so I'm assuming that's what you're referring to.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and so what's odd about that is I was also born on Father's Day.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
wow.
I know. So, and, I could not have asked for a better Mother's Day present. I became a mother. I wanted to be a mother for a long, long time. And when she came into my life, she changed everything. She is the light of my life. I adore her. And I just worship the ground her feet walk on. She's, like I said, she's the light of my life. And now I get to celebrate it every Mother's Day.
How old is she now?
She's 14. She will be 15 this year.
God bless you.
Does she go online and look at your past stuff?
Does she? Some of it. There's some stuff she still hasn't. You know what's funny is when she was a baby, she was really colicky. I could not get her to sleep. But it used to put her to sleep. I'd go on YouTube and find episodes of The Bold and the Beautiful in different languages, because somehow she got a kick out of looking at me and hearing me speaking these other languages, and it would always calm her down.
That is so cute. Carolyn, say hi to Andrea.
Yeah, you got to do it. Yeah, you got to do what you got to do, right?
That's right.
Very clever.
Carolyn, it's your turn.
Oh, okay. One of my questions was going to be about how you got involved with the documentary, and that's we've covered that. And while we're on the subject of your daughter, has she seen the documentary, or how have you presented some of the issues for her? Going out into, because like you said, it's not just your industry; it happens in every industry. So how have you handled that with the 14-year-old daughter?
Well, it's interesting. Even my daughter has a beautiful singing voice. In fact, she just got paid for her first session work in a recording studio. She wants to sing.
Oh, wonderful.
So she wants to go into the entertainment industry. And knowing this, I debated whether or not I wanted her to see it or not. And she happened to be home for a couple days when we were shooting, and she asked to come with. So I debated it, and then I decided it would be better for her to see it and to hear it. because you have to, in order to protect yourself from something, you have to know what it is you're protecting yourself from. You know, and so I decided that not only should she see it, she actually worked as a production assistant on the project for a couple of days. She was a stand-in and did the slate, and so she was there for 2 full days, hearing everything. And hopefully it will help protect her in the future.
Very good. Mm.
Do you have another question, Carolyn?
Well, I would like to know, now that we've covered your past things in your past, where have you drawn your strength from?
Where have I drawn my strength from? Well, I'm definitely a person of faith, so I get a lot of strength from my faith. I do, and my mother was a huge source of strength for me. Unfortunately, she passed away 4 years ago, but I always said that my mother gave me life twice. She gave me life when she gave birth to me, and she gave me life during the whole stalking incident, because she was always there for me.
Oh, wonderful.
Wow. We also have Casey Stephen Hutchinson, and I know he is chomping at the bit to talk to you as well. Casey, take it away.
Well, first of all, I have to say, everybody knew you, I think, on this panel as Tina first, but in my house was The Young and the Restless, so we knew you as Patty Williams first.
Okay.
So my question for you is, from Passions to Y&R to One Live to B&B, how has the daytime soap genre impacted your personal and professional life?
How has the daytime genre affected my personal and professional life?
Yes.
Well, it's been a huge part of my professional life. And it's been a wonderful part. I think it's only impacted me professionally and personally in positive ways. I'm very proud of my work in daytime, and I'm proud of my other work too. I mean, I've done, I think, 13 films. I've done all kinds of different things too. But daytime's a very special place. As a performer, I like the fact that there's very little editing. So pretty much what you saw on your screen was what we did. It's not that somebody put it in, edited it together. Editing is such an important part of filmmaking that you easily get cut out of films. I mean, I cut myself out of this film actually. And I've been cut out of several other films. It happens all the time. You really have no control over what comes out on the screen as an actor in a film in many ways. So, but daytime, you have a lot of control.
So now I do have a question about your amazing, emotional, impactful documentary, of course. So how do you think Rocking the Couch will impact the Me Too movement? How do you think your beautifully made documentary will find its place in this movement?
Well, it is definitely part, I think, of the spirit of the Me Too movement. I would like to think that we are part of it. I would like to think that we will be embraced by the movement, because I do think that's important. And I think the whole fact that there exists a movement called the Me Too movement tells you a lot. And it's about, people telling their stories. It happened to them too. That's what it's about. And that's what our documentary is about too, as well as, I don't think we went into it in depth, but our documentary features an actual trial of a man who sexually assaulted 12 actresses, and these brave actresses that came forward, but somehow nobody seems to have heard of this case, and how maybe if there had been a Me Too movement back in the 1990s when this happened, people would have heard of it, and maybe we wouldn't have had your Harvey Weinsteins. You know, we wouldn't have had these situations. Maybe people would have learned, which is what brings us to the tagline that those who do not learn from history are condemned to repeat it.
Amen. Well, before I turn it back over to our host, I just want to say thank you for decades of daytime entertainment, making this beautiful documentary that will really continue to shine a light on the Me Too movement. And thanks for just being a wonderful person for the entertainment industry.
Oh, thank you so much. And may I should give a plug to a show I worked on this year that I really enjoyed, The Bay, which is on Amazon Prime as well. So I hope people will turn in there and watch The Bay as well.
We love The Bay. We promote it often here. Can I ask you? There's a anti-Me Too movement as well. They're maybe not as respected, but definitely they're trying to promote the fact that there's an expiration date. Like, if it's happened to you, if you haven't spoke up by now, leave it alone. Could you speak a moment to that and what you'd have to say to that thought process?
Well, I think, I don't think there's a time limit to having been a victim and having, this impact your life. And I think it has impacted all these people's lives. And they have a right to tell their story. I also just watched another documentary, which is very much in the news these days, Leaving Neverland. And I was so touched by the young men talking in the documentary and who seemed so completely sincere. And I mean, I'm not a big crier, and I was crying to hear them tell their stories. And even though these happened when they were little boys, it was so clear how much it had impacted their life and how they needed to talk about it. And I think that's what you see in our documentary, too. You see brave women who came forward because they had to talk about it. And they were so happy to have someone ask them. And also even the case I brought up where there was an actual trial, the people involved in the trial were like, oh, my gosh, you're the first person who's called us. They were so surprised that nobody had wanted to hear their stories.
Wow. Well, tell our listeners where they can find Rocking the Couch and to leave back as much feedback as they can.
Absolutely. Please watch Rocking the Couch. It's on Amazon Prime. And please leave us a review. Tell us what you think about it. Because we're actually planning another documentary as we speak. So we will listen to what you have to say, and hopefully that will be very helpful. And also turn into The Bay, too, which is also on Amazon.
Can we go back to your soap history for a couple of minutes before we let you go?
Sure. Of course.
Super couples are, a prime draw for the soap world. Can you tell us what you remember about being part of Cord and Tina and that rise to super couple status?
I don't know why on screen sometimes you have certain chemistry with certain people. I know John and I were always good friends. Oddly enough, John and I, it turns out, grew up about 20 minutes from each other, and we think actually competed against each other in a speech contest in high school.
Wow.
Wow.
But didn't know each other then. Well, we both came from the Midwest. We both had, similar backgrounds that way. And on screen, we just seemed to have a really, really good chemistry that came across that way. And it's always wonderful. It's always good to have a relationship with another actor that's like that, where things seem to flow, things seem to work really, really well, that you're not fighting with constantly to get some kind of, make it look like you get along, and things like that. Because we really did. He's a really lovely man, and we got along very well. And hopefully, if they do decide to reboot One Life to Live, that John will come out of retirement and come join us.
Did you guys know at the time how big you really were?
I think I did. I don't know if John did or not. I don't know. I was doing so much press and so much other stuff at the time because of One Life to Live. I will always be grateful for One Life to Live because it gave me a career. It gave me a career that I still have, that I'm still going on. And in many ways, I totally owe that to One Life to Live. And it was the time we were doing it was truly kind of the golden age of soaps. It was just a wonderful experience. I have no complaints, no regrets.
I have one more personal question. Did you ever wish that you could do a DID storyline alongside Erica?
It would have been fun, and heaven knows, maybe we'll do that on a reboot. I don't know. That would be a lot of fun. I would have enjoyed that.
Guys, anybody else have any final questions for Andrea?
I have one, Andrea. On the documentary, what is is it listed under? And because I know there's awards for documentaries and things like that. Like, what category would it be under? And do you know if it will be up for? It would be a documentary feature.
Okay. And who knows? Maybe we'll get nominated for some things this year. Who the heck knows? But that would be lovely. But we really did it to be a cautionary tale and to tell people about sexual abuse and harassment in Hollywood and try to make it as real as we could.
Well, it's a story that has to be told, needs to be told, and needs to get out there. Is there anything we can do? Is there any Twitter feeds or Facebook feeds that we can go on that you know of at the moment?
Yeah, you can look up Rocking the Couch on Facebook. We have a page there. You can certainly tweet me. Just spread the word. And again, I ask people to watch and let me know you watch. Send me a review. Let me know what you think. We'd love to hear it because, as I said, we're starting work on another one.
Okay, and what is it? Can you tell us what the other one is going to be on?
Not yet, but once we do it, I'd love to come on and talk to you about it again.
Oh, we'd love to have you
Great.
back.
Well, we'll do our best to get this the word out because it's.
Thank you.
Yes, my story is I had an 87-year-old sister that passed 4 years ago, and 3 or 4 days before I spoke to her, she just mentioned, she had mentioned it over the years, but it was with her basically till the day she died, and it always stays with you. So back to the comment, it needs to be told, and people need to share their stories.
They need
Very
to.
important.
Yeah, they do. I'm so sorry to hear that, but yeah, it's true, and I really don't think, and I think again, not to leave men out because it does happen to men, but probably every woman has had some degree of some of this happen to her, even if it's just being whistled at on the street when you don't want to be, when you want to be left alone. It's so prevalent in the way people have looked at women throughout the past. So, it's good to hear the stories, and hopefully we can help make the situation better. So spread the word.
The piece was very raw, and I think most of the Me Too with Bill Cosby and with Firestein, it's been sensationalized, and people are sitting on the edge of their couch waiting for the next juicy detail. And Rocking the Couch really showed the impact on regular people, and that when someone like yourself, who has beauty, brains, and incredible talent and an incredible career, comes out and says, but I want to know your story, and I want to help you release your pain. It's just another light for that person who's still sitting in the dark and scared to open the door.
The presentation was was very, very well done from a different perspective.
Thank you.
It was excellent.
And we wanted it from a different perspective. We wanted it to look different. We wanted it to be different. and we wanted to tell the truth about it, you know, and let people, you know, because I do think it was just kind of people think, oh, well, if we prosecute Harvey Weinstein, well, that's all going to stop. Well, no, it's so prevalent, you know, and you have to know that. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Well,
you're welcome. Great interview.
Welcome.
Great interview. Yeah.
David, any final thoughts? Casey?
Just that my eyes were open pretty wide. I don't think I've enjoyed a documentary so much with so much information. I think the best part that I enjoyed is when the detective came out and went undercover and did that thing. I love that.
Yeah.
And how she was so scared.
Yeah.
She was so scared that her backup wouldn't be there in time for her.
Yeah, and I think that tells you a lot because she's a trained professional in this kind of situation. She's a hardcore police officer. And to some degree, she became a victim too, and I think that was very powerful. And she's I think the hero of our story, you know, because she stepped up and put herself at risk to help other women when our own unions and everybody would not. So, you know, she's a hero.
Casey?
I just wanted to say as a final thought here that I urge everybody to watch this documentary, not just to shine a light on the Me Too movement, but to shine a light on the real world, because this is something that happens every second of every day. And Andrea, like I said earlier, you made a beautiful documentary with all these wonderful people. So please go and see it. It will honestly, I think, blow everybody away, and they will love it.
Oh, thank you so much. And I really appreciate being able to come here and talk to you guys. So I look forward to doing it again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you for taking the time to come speak to us. And whenever you have a project, let us know. We'd love to have you. Again, guys, you can find it on Amazon. And Andrea, I really hope to see you on ABC in the next year. And I can't wait for your next project. Thank you so much for coming this evening.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Good night.
Talk to you soon. Thank you.
Right.
Carolyn, if I can ask you, being our queen for the evening, or at least the only official one,
I was going to say, you shared, Anthony.
You shared something very personal at the very end there. And David, Casey, myself, and every other person that walks around with mandanglies will never truly be able to feel the same way that you do. We can empathize and we can try our best to understand, but between what you shared and what you watched in the documentary, can you tell us what you felt, how you feel now, having spoken to her?
Well, as a mother of two daughters, and I have always told them from when they were little girls, you really have to be tough. You have to be stronger. And if you're touched inappropriately or there's something that you don't like, whether it's said or done, you just have to. No, they're not tomboys. They weren't rough and tough and whatever, but I think that's got them through. And as teenagers, I talked all the time after school and, you know, things that were going on. So it's keeping the lines of communication open. I mean, I'm a lot older than you guys, and years ago it wasn't talked about. That was, you know, what are you talking about? I mean, I had girlfriends, and I was just, you know, I'd go home and tell my mother, oh, no, we can't talk about that. No, don't be. So I always said to my girls, there isn't anything that you should be embarrassed about. There isn't anything that you did. Just, you know, keep the line of communication open. So I was fortunate because my daughters, everything, they never had any problems. But I know a lot of friends, a lot of girls I went to school with. And even now I hear stories. And I say, oh, I can't believe this. But it's good that it's open. People are more open, which I think is good.
I know it was mentioned quite a few times, and it's absolutely true. It happens to men as well. There are women predators out there, even though they're at a much lower rate than male predators, but there are women predators out there. And unfortunately, there are male predators who, I don't talk about it much, but when I was first coming out, I was victimized in a very horrible way. And at that time also, you didn't talk about it. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. And, I think anybody listening tonight, if you ever know someone or you yourself are someone, it's always cathartic to talk to someone, anyone, that's empathetic and willing to listen. And go take a look at this documentary, because I watched it in 3 stages. I had to turn it off, and then I went back, and then I had to turn it off again.
Oh, it was a lot to take in. On another thing is what upsets me is the authority figures, and I don't want to bash Florida, but there's something on TV every week. If it isn't a teacher, it's a male nurse. I'm sitting there looking at the TV, and I cannot believe this. These are people you're supposed to look up to. These are authority figures, and that's the scary part.
I think the thing that bothers me, secondary the most, let's say to the Finding Neverland and the Bill Cosby surrounding issue and the Firestein, is that there are so many people that are involved in the cover-up, we'll call it, for lack of a better way of putting it, that don't bear any consequences. I mean, between them and whatever their god of choice is, I'm sure at some point they're going to have to look in the mirror and pay consequences inside their own soul. But I think more of us need to speak up and say, hey, so many people stayed silent, or so many people, opened the cab door, shoved the girl in, and paid the tab and said this never happened. And why aren't they being held somewhat accountable?
And then they're coming out now with, well, they were abused. The abusers were abused, so we're going to, kind of look the other way. No, I can't.
I can't stomach that either. Yeah.
No.
Well, this was definitely a very enlightening and emotional conversation. But we're here about our soaps, and I think we will say thank you so much again, Andrea, for coming on. You're brave and wonderful and a fire plug and the best redheaded goddess ever to grace daytime.
Well,
and we will go to
gets the acknowledgement that it really needs. So it's maybe it just might be a silent, just keep it out there, keep the word out there.
Yeah, and like we say with all the projects that come on, please comment and then go one step further and share it. Post it.
That's right. Yeah. Comment and share.
So let's go to Salem.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Well, you guys know tomorrow are the last airing scenes of Tyler Christopher.
No.
Yeah. I was
Really
expecting him to go sooner because maybe I misunderstood it, but I remember I asked you when Brandon started, and you said January, and maybe we both got mixed up with what the actual question was.
So, when I broke the story initially on my soap type that Tyler was going to be gone for good and Brandon was taking over permanently, as long as they want to keep Stefan on, I began to think about Tyler Christopher's run as Stefan. And I have to say, the character started out very good. It was the shock of the new year, blah, 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 blah. And then the character started flat for me. But then the past 3-4 months, the characters really picked back up with the chemistry with Camila Banus and Nadia Bjorlin. And now it's just sad to see Tyler go for personal reasons, but I know that Brandon will bring, a lot of fire to that role. Brandon's got great chemistry with leading. And I'm interested to see Brandon with Camila. I wonder how that's going to be. Because, I loved Brandon with the on GH, Laura Wright on GH. So I'm interested to see how his chemistry will be with Camila. And I would say not because we know she's as well. So we'll see. I'm very interested.
I want to say,
was Tyler's run supposed to be a short run anyway? I mean, is he not under contract, or how did that go down?
Yeah,
put under a 2-year contract.
Okay.
When he first came to the show, Brandon is there. I don't want to say it like this, but you'll know what I mean. He's there to finish out the contract in, some terms. You know what I mean? It's not Tyler's contract, of course. It's a different one. But he's there to finish out.
Just like Kate
there's so many rumors as to what went on. But has anyone seen the trailer for the movie that he's doing? It's quite interesting.
It does look good. I saw when our friends at Soap Opera News released it. It looks good.
Yes. So maybe it was just he didn't. I didn't like the writing. I mean, I think he's fabulous, but I didn't know where they were going or what they were doing. It was just like a kite flying in the wind. And
I want to jump in real quick and just say I think they missed a bunch of opportunities with Tyler to focus on the broader, Chad, and the DID storyline. The rivalry and the DID. There was such amazing chemistry between him and Kate. There was amazing relationship potential chemistry between him and Mary Beth Evans. And they just really didn't know where to go with him. And so they just kept him in that central story and didn't explore, making him an integral part of the overall canvas.
The four of them, Chad, Marcy, the four of them were great, but it was just okay. And it would have been great if they were, for another 5 years or whatever, because they were just getting kind of on a roll. And now here we are. They're all gone.
As I love Ace, I do have to speak to this though with Ron's writing team. I think they tried to rush that too quickly.
Yes.
Yes.
Because 2 weeks later, people were talking about him like he had been Stefano for 30 years. Stefano did not become that famous by everybody in Salem for a long time. Stefano originally started out as just really your run-of-the-mill Roger Thorpe, Alex Spaulding villain. And then he got crazy about 2-3 years in. But tried to do that with Tyler in 3 weeks. And I think because of that being rushed so much, I wanted to check out because, people were like, oh, Stefano's this big bad. And I'm like, what has he done? All he did was went to the DeMera Mansion. Okay, calm down, Kayla. So it was rushed for me. They didn't take enough time to play the beats. I feel like impacted Tyler's performance and impacted the course of the Kate and Andre. It was too rushed. Way too rushed.
And all disjointed. I mean, they just really could get,
Lightning in a bottle only happens a few times a decade in each soap. And if you take a look at something like Eileen Davidson, who was Kristen, and then, of course, Susan and all the other various incarnations, Kristen did not come out of the gate, and 3 weeks later she was not so cuckoo and, and trying to poison Marlena. There was, there was that old-fashioned build-up for months. We didn't know exactly what Kristen was, who she was, and some people thought she was a simple, beautiful, misunderstood soul. and mousy librarian-ish, and some people said, oh, there's fire there, and then all of a sudden, with the build-up, you saw little cracks, and the cracks became wider and wider, and then all of a sudden, one day, you know, like Marsha Cross pulling off the wig in the mirror in Melrose Place, she just flipped the script. And if Tyler has the chops to have done that. So, Ron, if you are listening, take heed, because we pay way more attention sometimes, I think, than you give us credit for as fans.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like him.
No, she wasn't. I remember that.
No.
Way over.
That evolved.
Like another missed opportunity.
Yeah.
I would have locked her down.
Could that have been her idea more?
No.
Well, I spoke to Louise, and I have on many occasions. Such a sweet lady. I love her so much. We just spoke not too long ago about Jed's passing. But anyway, I know she, when I interviewed her, was very disappointed that they didn't give her more. She wanted more. She wanted more material because she was thrilled to work with Tyler. She was under a head writer that to her didn't look so bad, because we know Vivian's last run before that was awful.
Right.
So she wanted more meaty material, but I think what played into that was, one, they didn't really know what to do with Stefan. I got to be honest, I don't think they had a plan for him. And then two, probably a money issue as well. Yes, Louise Sorrell.
Yeah, it's probably money. Always comes down to money.
Yeah.
But,
sad to say.
Ron brought on a lot of big names when he first came to Days, and that's fine. And I got to be honest, some of that's happening now. Twitter, don't you come for me, because you know I love Ron Keisha.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I wanted to shift gears into that right now, because we're looking at two big storylines that they're not gelling well, and they're not being told well. And of course, I'm talking about Diana. There's no slow burn there whatsoever.
The storyline is not coming together. The timeline with this John and another son, the timeline is just all off.
Well, then here's the thing. It was a cute nod to history. Let's move on today. Tyler Christopher, we're done with you. Pack your bags. See you later on your film. Diana, to me, love that the character is back. I really do. And I love that Judith Chapman is on my screen. But honestly, first thing, I wouldn't have brought Judith back as Diana. I wouldn't. Because Frances just had a warmth about her, and I would have tried to pick somebody with the same warmth. Maybe, who was that chick who played, oh my God, I'm forgetting her name, on Another World, Sam and Amanda, wasn't that her name?
Oh, Amanda. I forgot her last name.
Oh, that's a good choice. Yes.
She was the best Felicia on General Hospital. But yeah, she would have been a good choice, because I would have brought Judith as in I would have ready and all that. Is that Sandra Ferguson? Does that sound familiar? Yes, Sandra Ferguson. Yep, that's her. So yeah, I would have done her, and I would have brought Judith back as Angelica. The second thing, and Carolyn or Anthony, I think it was you, the timeline is really off. Not just Leo. But how does Angelica, call her Angelica, how does Diana not know that whole John Roman shift happened? She should have heard about that by now. It's been like 37 years.
Yeah, you would think so. Well, do you think Diana has changed the results? Because that's I think the end result is somebody snuck in there. And now they're blaming.
I don't think Leo is his son, is he?
Well,
has it been
DNA
proven
came
yet?
back. Yeah, the DNA came back.
DNA came back. He's, according to that test, he's John's son. So.
And now they're with Haley. They say that Do they not have video cameras in the halls of the hospital to see people sneaking in and doing all this?
And I think they think about that later.
If all these people have been getting in and out of the hospital, they need to change the key card system.
That's right.
Yeah.
Injecting, Marlena's donuts and, oh my God.
Well,
they need security badly.
After this whole mess, Marlena needs to get a password on her damn computer, okay?
Right? I mean, the Phoenix has risen how many times? I don't know why she don't have a lock on her door. Just a simple, master lock. Now we can use Alexa to open and close our locks. She's battled just about everything, including the devil, and she don't even have a lock on her office door.
Now poor Haley's been arrested, and then Claire, she's always a brat.
I'd like to float a quick question to you guys, and I'm going to parameter it in the Days vein because they're the ones that are taking the most chances in the last 2 to 3 years.
Yes.
What would you guys think if they ran some sort of, maybe partnered with GoFundMe or whatever, and the fans got to vote by giving to $5, $7 to to the character of Kristen, the character of Angelica, the character of Marlena's, real sister, and whichever campaign brought in the allotted amount, they wrote that character in, and also subset the cost of bringing a big name by making it up to us who we really want to see.
Yeah.
Okay. I wouldn't do that just because I got many people from Days that we can write out to clear up some budget. Okay, Haley Chen, you can go, girl. You're boring me to tears.
God, yeah.
I mean, she is the most boring thing since Krista Khalil as Lily.
Yeah, go. She's a singer. Just go and sing. She's a good singer.
It's not your fault.
She needs to sing.
I mean, and here's the thing. I like the actress. As like I said, same thing with Crystal Khalil. No shade against those actresses because they're not boring. It's the characters.
Yeah.
I mean, Haley. Yeah. And once again, we have Casey Moss with his and JJ with his blue balls, not getting to hunch anybody interesting. And so, honestly, they can just write Haley out because from the beginning they made Melinda her mother, and I felt like that was a missed opportunity. And it's that whole Haley character is a mess to me.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about this version of Ted Laurent?
I love Ted.
Me too.
I like Ted.
And Giles, however you pronounce his name, I've loved him since Sex and the City. Because remember when he played Dante in the Sex and the City movie?
Mm-hmm. So, and then immediately was cast on Brothers and Sisters. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I forgot about Brothers and Sisters. I love that show. Oh, Brothers and Sisters.
Mm-hmm. Me too. They need to do a 2.0 of that. Miss Sally Fields, Miss Sally Fields. Well, before we leave Salem, I know David's got a couple of thoughts of his own, but I definitely want to say, coming from the Queen standpoint, and I will definitely wave my Queen flag proud, I am so darn happy that they have finally got a somewhat of a resolution to Leo, Sonny, Will, and, I love
finally.
the play with him and Brady, but, as proud as I am to be gay, it's sort of like, okay, let the gay couple go into the back halls for a while and do the hookup things that they do, and let's tell some new story. I'm glad that they're finally back together, but it's time to kind of let Leo be a regular villain and not the snarky little F word. I won't pronounce it, of course, but
the little
twerp.
Twerp. Well, you guys are lucky that we don't. You guys are lucky that we don't. we don't have the same taste in men because Ted's not my my kind of guy.
Oh, girl.
He's all
I
yours.
loved you up until this moment. I might have to send you a pair of
yours.
glasses so you can
No
take a
comment.
second look.
He's all yours. No.
Carolyn, let me ask you. Carolyn, have you seen the Sex and the City movie? Because if not, go to that movie, skip about an hour and 20 minutes in to Giles Marini's shower scene in that movie. And then
okay, yeah.
Just give her the number where she can stop it at.
The problem is I'm not. That's where I don't have time. I don't have time, guys. I'm 75. I don't have time for just spectating. I like to, get right in there and.
Well, before David gives his final thoughts, I also, we bashed Dave a little bit this episode of our show. I do want to say, Ron, kudos to the nods between Rafe and Kate and Rex. I'm so tired of Rex and Eric and Sarah. I'm sorry, I like Sarah, but I'm really tired of that. But kudos to the nods to history and paying attention in those areas. David, what are your Salem thoughts before we move on to
what about
LA?
Sin? What about Sin? Don't you guys like Sin? Sin?
Oh, Sin?
Sin.
Yeah. Sin is hot.
So
my guess is, do you think it's reminiscent of Bo and Hope?
Well, I think they're
a lot of
trying
people are
hard,
saying
but
it is
hard.
It is. I don't. Bo wasn't murking up folks 3 years ago, so it's reminiscent.
That's true.
Yeah, it's Bo meets Todd Manning meets Cash meets I'm sorry, but Nicholas Cassadine. It's got all those elements, but thankfully, Robert pulls it off enough that most of us are rooting for the serial murderer to let Sierra heal him, let Sierra soothe him, and God, the soothing that could be done with a boy like that. But I digress.
Well, and then they bring Marlena and John, and they just interject them in there again. And I say, okay, we've had enough there. We've had enough. We need somebody fresh and new, and we need a good storyline.
Anthony, now that I think about it, when you mentioned Todd and Blair, I started to think about it more. This is not really Bo and Hope to me. This is more Todd and Blair.
It is.
Todd,
Mm-hmm.
And even Sierra, like Blair, is kind of Marlena, to me, in the situation, is Victoria.
Victoria.
Because Marlena been just like Vicky tried to do with Todd. And then Hope, to me, is Dorian, because, Dorian used to always tell Blair, look, honey, I know you love him, girl, but you finna cut ties with him, girl. We can't be having that man in this house.
This is La Boule.
Oh, honey. Even
if Ron finds a way to work the words La Boule in when Robin Strasser is Salem, I will cream.
Even when La Boule was decorated by IKEA on that Prospect Park reboot, Dorian did not want Todd up in her house. Anyway, this is very Todd Blair, and I see a lot of one life archetypes on Dave.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with. But at the same time, oh God, people are going to hate me when I say this. Ron is now lacking a lot of originality. I said it. I'm sorry. I have to say it. Even though I adore Dave right
entitled.
Now, and
you're entitled.
I don't.
Just don't hold back. Don't hold back.
I don't want Ron to ever leave his position as head writer of that show because he has completely rebooted it. It's becoming very One Life to Live-ish. And
with a little bit of All My Children thrown in. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to see My Days of Our Lives, which I am, but I want to see the characters act like they're on Days of Our Lives.
Like Days of Our Lives.
Yeah. I agree.
It is back to the show except for these archetypes that have been woven in. Because we know Ron knows to do more. You know, General Hospital was very General Hospital. Even when those One Life to Live characters came on, it was still General Hospital. So I want to see that for Days of Our Lives too. And I know Ron did not grow up watching Days, but he's got people on that writing team who have been there since like 1987. So lean on them to tell you what these archetypes are.
Yeah, pay Drake Hoxton a little bit more money because he's like the librarian scholar of Days of Our Lives, and bring him upstairs and let him write out timelines for you because, again, the timelines that you're playing with, Ron, you know, there has not been any lost-type time shifts that we know of. And if you're going to write that in, then you better make it kind of believable because, But, Cole, let's jump on the train. Let's head out to L.A., and let's catch up with the Forresters and Wild Bill and am I loving me some Flo? But David, why don't you start us off on this one?
On this one,
picture it, L.A. 2019, Baby Switch, go.
Oh, give Hope her baby back, please.
All right, go some more.
They don't seem to agree.
David's ready to roll.
I said please. How about that? Well, I know all this angst. I know it's driving me nuts that Flo wants to tell the truth. And, Anthony, you had me laughing the other day on the messenger.
Yeah, I saw that.
I says, I want Flo to spill her guts, but you wanted her to do something else. But first.
Well, yeah, she got to get that in first, you know. I mean, because there ain't going to be no chance afterwards. But
I know.
Yeah. You know, I'm going to say if they were working towards committing her and that when the truth finally came out, she was up in the loony bin, so she couldn't have her baby back anyway, and a whole arc of a storyline like that, I wouldn't be feeling like, you know, they got us. It was powerful. Those first couple of weeks, I mean, I was on board. I was like, oh, your Bowles is coming back, and it's fierce. And I'll even forgive you for destroying my Miss Sheila Carter. But now I'm back to, oh, my God, can you move along?
Yeah,
how
let's
many
move
times
along.
can she say to herself, am I doing the right thing? Oh, maybe I should tell, maybe I shouldn't tell. Poor Hope, I feel so bad for her, yet you're not going to tell her where her child is. You know.
I know.
I think
Say it.
Can't you guys get together and write a storyline and present it, like just keep throwing it at them? Because you guys come up with the best storylines.
I'm not a writer, so I wish I could.
Input, you can have input. Casey and Anthony and David, and you can have input and get it rolling and send it to registered mail and make sure somebody gets it. Try this storyline.
Now, Casey,
shall we tell Carolyn the news, though?
Oh.
Go ahead.
We got news for Carolyn about B&B. One Beverly Hills housewife has joined B&B.
Oh, do I know who it is? Do I know
Tiger
who
Blood.
it is?
Tiger Blood.
She's a child actress.
God, I'd be horrible at trivia.
DR.
I remember her when she was a little girl in the movies.
I remember when she was lip locking with, was it Nev Campbell? When she did that lesbian kiss.
Yeah.
Yes.
I give up.
Denise Richards. Joining the Bold and the Beautiful.
I thought you said B. I thought you said B. I'm looking for a B. It's D. Okay. Oh, D. Really? She's going to be on Bold and Beautiful?
And she going to be Flo Mama. She going to be Flo Mama.
She's going to be Flo's
mother.
mother.
We think Amber and 20 Part 2.
Amber
and 20 the reboot.
Did she? She just got married, right? Okay.
Did she?
Yeah, I'm sure she just got married. David?
I don't know. I'm not up
I
to speed
think
on
her
everything
whole
these
life
days.
Her life has turned around.
Well, it had nowhere to go but up after Charlie Sheen, but that's a whole different show. Casey, my friend,
Yeah.
I know you're dying. To put some input here about what's going on out in Los Angeles.
Oh, you know me so well. So look, I'm not having the same issues with Bold that you guys are. Just because I think why so many people stop me if this isn't the same issue, but I feel like one of the top issues with this baby storyline with the fans is that they're used to instant gratification. Because, let's face it, Bold finishes the story in 2 weeks. They did it with the Black Folk from London. They came over here, and, Nia So going, as Jillian Bowe from Daytime Top of Digital says, "You're stalking me." They wrap that up in 2 weeks. They wrap Sheila up in a month. So,
7 minutes, Sasha. Yep.
Yeah. So I feel like that's an issue a lot of people are having, is that they feel the story's taking too long when we're only on month 3. I mean, really, we're only like 3 months into this story. And let's face it, if this was Agnes Nixon telling the story, damn good and well it would take 8 months to a year. And so
there would be movement, Casey.
Followers,
she would have been institutionalized at this point. They wouldn't be sitting in the same room over and over again, repeating the same 4 sentences. Should I tell or should not tell? I feel so bad for Hope. There would be movement. Agnes knew how to craft detail around her main story that kept you sitting on the edge of your seat. Somebody was walking outside the door while the father and the daughter were talking about whether it's right or wrong. Did they hear? Didn't they hear? You had to wait till Monday to find out that somebody called her from the other end of the floor. It was, Florence to me from the Jeffersons going, Master Jefferson, and she missed hearing the tea. And then a week later, somebody else almost got the tea. This has been the same 4 lines for 2.5, 3 weeks now, over and over and over again.
I love the day that Zoe got a hold of what was going on.
Yes.
And
yes.
I need more of that. I need more people to find out, because that's how you stretch a story along.
Taylor would be the perfect person to find out now. That would really where's the story.
I don't want big characters to figure out. To stretch this out a bit longer, we need characters like Xander to find out, or, you need little characters who you think are going to tell but won't. Because if we have Taylor find out now, then she's going to blow it next week. Honestly, I think this story shouldn't wrap.
They said that Taylor would be the one to find out, but you don't know what to believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
love my Twitter followers, and I go in and I read the comments, and they're really upset because they want Sheila. They want the real Sheila. And they keep saying, they've dropped the ball. What's the matter? Do you guys go in and read the comments, or make a comment, or just do you retweet and whatever? I love the comments.
And I'm going to say it, Heather Matson is not on contract at General Hospital, so offer her a sweet little couple-month deal to come and stir Sheila back up to the Sheila she once was.
Yeah.
And let's have a Sheila Sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Where is Sheila if she's not at El Giardino now?
She's poisoning those. Well, I was going to say she's poisoning that iced tea at El Giardino. Oh. She's probably placing them breadsticks with poison and everything. That would be a good story. I would Sheila, like we talked about, to poison the iced tea and then, do it with a laxative. And for worse revenge, we're going to spit in El Giardino.
Have El Giardino, cater a nice runway show, and have them all just having the squirts right there on the runway.
Oh, God.
And those
Well, David brought an interesting point to me right before we started the show. I think it was you, David. Do we feel like they're about to kill Caroline?
That was Candace. Candace brought that up.
Because I'm definitely feeling that way. Casey, take it away, baby.
Brought that up.
So
I don't
look.
I know Candace brought that up. So she says that they said there's a death in the Foresters, but they're looking at the guys, and I says why? And I think it went something like this: it doesn't have to be a male Forester. And I don't know. I think they're hinting around that it could be Carolyn.
I think it would be an interesting way to go, for sure. Well, enough about
bring
LA.
Thomas back.
I think it would be a bad idea to kill Carolina. Honestly, I would recast the because the Bells are, like I commented on a Twitter thing today, the Bells already killed one popular Caroline off. They shouldn't kill another one. So
that's true.
They should
that is
true too.
I was watching old YouTubes, and they don't have much on the original Caroline. Has anyone followed that?
Here's how popular the original Caroline is. In some foreign markets, the show used to be called Caroline, and I'm not.
Oh,
even
really?
Kidding.
Yeah.
Really?
Because everybody knows Catherine Kelly Lang as Bold and Beautiful's amazing leading lady, but for about the first 3 to 5 years, it was Caroline.
That's when I watched it. Yeah, Caroline and her dad and Ridge and but there's very little on YouTube. I'm really surprised.
None of us know if none of us.
Joanna
Senior was.
Yeah, those were the days. Those were the days. That was great. The storylines.
Well, now boarding the red eye to Genoa City will be the 4 co-hosts that are here this evening. Let's hop on board. The flight attendant is passing out a cocktail, and we are about to land. And I think it was Candace who asked us to please mention for her. And I definitely want to be the one to mention it, A, because I'm hosting, and B, because I absolutely and 100% feel the same way. The court scenes felt like we were jurors. We felt like we were sitting in court, and it was the first time in, at least 5 to 10 years worth of soap that it was court worth watching on a soap. Can I get an amen?
Yeah. Yes, amen.
That's not enthusiastic enough. Can I get an amen?
Amen. Amen. Were you on target? Did you like the outcome?
Yes, I did.
I was crushed. I mean, I cried yesterday hearing those passion remarks from the family. Oh my God.
Okay.
That's TV.
But when Nick got up there,
I'm the kind of soap fan that likes, as much as I like Phyllis, kicking down the church door right before they say I do. I love that. But I also like soap that gives us that moment where we're like, oh no, this is wrong. Because quite frankly, in reality, them ladies would have gone through it. And 3 years for Sharon was a little like, no, it would have been at least 5 to 10. But okay. I was thoroughly happy with the fact that there was a strong, precise verdict. Now, how they reintroduce JD and all that will tell me whether or not the payload of this moment was worth it, if that makes any sense. You guys know what I mean?
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah, you want to know if JT's outcome is going to equal the court scene.
Yes, exactly, yes.
Do we still think he's in the wall?
I think Victor has him stashed in a secret room somewhere.
I think Victor has him stashed.
Who?
And I'm okay with this. What they need to do is reveal that it was a JT doppelganger or a brain tumor or something. Because when JT comes back, I just want to forget this whole thing ever happened. This awful, terrible storyline. Because I'm going to be honest.
Not enough execution.
Dave, preach, girl. Preach.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like we talked about with Dave, why did we do this storyline in 3 weeks? Because I remember watching an episode, the girls' night episode, with my mom when Victoria admitted she had been abused.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, well, this means nothing. This doesn't break my heart because the story was there. At that point, they had just gone to Hawaii. He disconnected the phones and he punched the wall. So what? Oh, and he tried to kill the dad. And so what? That was it. There should have been much more. And so the trial, to me, has been the best part of this storyline.
Me too.
Yes.
It's real Y&R. I was like, oh, my God, I'm watching The Young and the Restless. Like, this is my show right now. And it was great. Now, the only thing I had a problem with, and I know the rest of the people did too, is the rumor that Mal Young kind of pushed Eric Braeden out of those episodes, which...
Yeah, I saw something like that.
Yeah, which I feel like that kind of hurt the emotion on Nikki's character because, Victor's her rock.
Yeah.
Victor and Nikki are each other's livelihood. They're each other's lives. And so by Victor not being there, that is about the only issue I had with the trial. Other than that, I was like, my damn, The Young and the Restless returned. I'll be damned.
Yeah, let's put
it
this
way. And then according to Twitter, Eric felt the same way.
Yeah. Peter Bergman can really put it over, and he did put it over. But, it just wasn't the mustache. We needed the mustache.
Yeah.
Well, I about died when Jack stood up and he said, I know Victor wouldn't like me giving this speech about me. I was like, no, he would not, fool. But, and another thing is, when Nick got up there, I was like, oh, great, here we go. Nick is going to just ruin the fate of these ladies. Because I got to be honest, I did not like Nick going up there. He was, even Billy contained himself a little bit when speaking about JT. But Nick was there, and he was like, what he did to my sister. I was like, Nicholas, sit the hell down before this judge will I was like,
can I interject?
Miguel,
just bear with me. How many
Please,
people are
Karen.
going to prison? Yeah, how many people are going to prison?
3.
3.
3. I
Nikki
thought I saw that on Twitter. Yeah. What is this going to be? The Orange is the New Black? 3 of the main characters are going to go to prison?
Well, they're going to have a tea party with Lily, who's still there.
Oh, now there are 4 ladies going to be in prison.
No, Lily's going to check out here in about 2 months. Lily's like, bye, here's my old pal.
The only thing that would make actually showing them in prison worse is if they meet their doppelgangers, like what happened in Salem. If suddenly Victoria meets, Anthony, somebody cut his mic. Anthony, you stop that right now. Don't you be wishing it. Younger brother. Now, I said a JT doppelganger was okay. I did not mean for Heather Tom to show up and say, well, hello, Victoria. I did not mean for Erica Hope to show up and say, Melody, you ruined my career. And I did not mean for Monica Potta to track her out to Studio 25. Oh, Monica Potter, yes.
Well, because she was the OG Sharon. Do you remember that, Monica Potter?
I do.
Yes,
oh
I
my
do.
God, yes.
So stop that right now. Somebody cut his mic.
I mean, so that was some really good soap. And so I'm going to also now steer it towards some really bad soap. Kyle?
Although.
Kyle?
Where are we going? Yeah,
Summer?
where are we going now?
Kyle Summer and that whole Majesty mess.
Now, you stop that right now. Look, and this is the first time I have ever liked Summer, and you're all going to hate me for this, and the actress who plays her in the role. Summer, to me, is a character I've always wanted to claw my eyes out with. Summer is a character to me that I wish Patty would have fed her more peanut butter. I'm loving the character of Summer. This story is such a hot, soapy mess that I adore it. The wink link in this story for me is the character of Lola, because I don't feel that Lola and Kyle's love was repaired enough yet from that stupid purse storyline to be against all odds couple. I would have spent about one more month trying to repair their bond a little bit. But otherwise, I'm loving this story. And Y&R has it made with this love triangle. And so I hope they repair the character of Lola a little bit more so we can enjoy this love triangle a little bit more. Because, like I said, first time ever, I am loving Supergirl Summer Newman.
Okay, so here's my take on it. I love who Summer has stepped up to be. I love that the little byplay with Billy. That was phenomenal. And I love the idea of Lola, who she could be in about 4 months. And they need to build it very carefully. Having said that, they need to kind of back burner it for a little bit, let it simmer, and have some normalcy, soap normalcy, not like let's wash the dishes and make a salad and chop up cucumbers or anything, but a little bit of soap normalcy and let it simmer and let us really anchor our investment in it. Having said that, I also want to throw in Bold and the Beautiful. If you could release Sheila Carter for just 2 weeks, have her come to Genoa City and take out Mia. Just have her just a bloodbath, a straight up bloodbath. Push her over a cliff, then rock climb down the cliff and beat her with a fire poker, and then just to add fuel to the fire, pour some lighter fluid on her and light her on fire.
I don't think Sheila.
Or Mia.
I don't think Sheila could get the time off from El Giardino. Somebody's got to bake those breadsticks. So I don't think. But with Mia, I tweeted this story because Dougie Davidson is coming back. Him leaving didn't impact the show in the first place, but he's coming back anyway. It's with him coming back, we need a meatier storyline. And honestly, as I mentioned on Twitter, Paul and Christine need to get away from that police station. It has ruined their characters. They were far more sexier when Paul was the PI and Cricket was the law student and everything else. So anyway,
the good old days. The good old days, yeah.
Is I would have Paul retire from the police station, go ahead and give Ray the chief of police position, have Paul go be a PI again, have Cricket be mad because she's not sure Paul should be doing all that dangerous stuff at his age. That causes a rift in their marriage. Just as they're fighting about that, revealed that Mia is Isabella Branya's daughter. And then...
Oh, God.
Oh!
Yeah, no. I know Anthony just got a hard-on for that storyline. And so...
I know what you're talking about, too.
Yeah. But
it needs to be more meaty.
And she's there. And then she can be there to avenge Ricky's death because she was mad she never got to meet him. And
yes,
there you go.
I'm telling you, you guys should be writing the script. You should be writing the scripts.
Thank you, Carolyn.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. And that is next to this Rosales mess.
And I'm gonna turn the page one more time before we leave Genoa City, and I'm gonna ask, where is Kane's baby?
Oh, I don't care about that, though.
I do a little bit. I think he put that baby on a plane to Port Charles, and now that baby's up in Grandma Audrey's attic.
Poor Sam.
That's the attic of no return. But that's my lead in to say that Christoph is gone, and it's gonna be a horrible hole in the canvas. And with it being so fractured right now, there's no continuity in that whole side of town, and I'm really feeling let down by the Winters side of town. And I really hope that Josh is paying attention and finds a beautiful way to pull that story back and pull that family back to prominence.
Oh, they're gonna have to step it up.
Yeah. The issue is that again, after many months of not having it this way, once again, the black folks are islanded. Once again, it's you get certain white characters in the story with black characters. You get Mariah, you get Abby, you get Finn now, but that's it. And you get Kane, and those characters just stay on that island. And I've never understood for the past 15 years why The Young and the Restless has done that, because those characters are so important to the show as a whole, and especially with Kristoff gone now, may he rest in peace. It's more important than ever to have those characters on, and especially with Crystal Khalil not on contract status with the show anymore. So we need Devon and Anna to mingle more. We need to get these characters off of Black Genoa City Island and get them in the fold of theirs. Why is Devon not under Victor's wing like Neil was? Why is Devon, not wanting to do a merger with Newman Enterprises and be just like his father was with Victor? Why is Anna not mixing it up with, what happened to that whole Kyle, Anna, Finn type chemistry testing they were doing?
Yep.
Where are these stories for this set of people that we love and adore? So, it's a mystery to me. It's more of a mystery than why Carmine went crazy all those years ago.
All right.
Just South Island.
Yeah. Well, we've taken a train and we've taken the red eye. Why don't we Star Trek ourselves to Port Charles, and let's talk about that hot mess that is General Hospital.
Okay.
Is General Hospital the boat?
General Hospital. I got 3 words. I nailed this one. Willow was a member of DOD. She had.
Yes, she did.
They showed her tattoo today.
Yes, she did.
So what? I'm so bored.
I also said about 3 weeks ago, I have a feeling that Shiloh is Willow baby daddy.
That I have the same feeling.
Yeah, so too predictable. Not laid out not laid out in an interesting manner. It would have been a little bit better played off if actually, somebody like Lulu caught her changing her shirt or whatever and saw it, or it was a very flat sort of reveal for that.
Isn't that hospital as a whole?
Yeah. Does anyone on
kind.
this call believe that Ryan Chamberlain is dead? Anyone?
He better be, because if he's not
for now anyway.
If he's
but
not
I
going
think
to come
he's
to
working.
Merck, then just leave him dead. Because honestly, if it was not for Mara West, Jeannie Francis, sorry, Steve Burton, you can pack your bags, you don't belong in the same bracket, and John Lindstrom, then the story would not have been any good.
But it was.
I got to be honest. It was boring, and there wasn't enough stakes, and the only thing that saved it was Jeannie, Mara, and John.
Yeah, absolutely. They should have killed Lulu. I'm sorry, I will say that till the end of time. I don't necessarily,
Amen.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I said amen. You're totally right, because that is what should have brought Dante back to town for Lulu's funeral. And, you get a special appearance by Mrs. Doubtfire, Tony Geary, and because, oh, Lord, he's looking there. I mean, that is Tony Geary, one woman that has not aged well, honey. And he looks like Erica Slezak because she never got a facelift. And so,
he's 3 steps away from being the living, breathing crypt keeper, but go ahead.
Oh, yes, Hunty. And so you do a beautiful funeral for Lulu. You get Dante back. You have a video thing shot with Tony Geary. There you go. Honestly,
I will add one more name, though, to your list. I do think Roger Howarth brought it.
Yes, he did. And look, I'm liking a whole lot more in 2019. I really am. I've been liking Franco a little bit more because I haven't really liked him since he was with Carly. But, yeah, I'm liking Franco a little more. So definitely a lot of good acting and a lot of good Emmy reels being pieced together for next year. But otherwise, the story wasn't there. And, they say if it ain't on the page, it ain't on the stage. But let me tell you, it's on the stage at General Hospital, but it still ain't on the page.
Mhm. I think the old saying about reading the names from the phone book, if they just put Maura West, Jeannie, John, and Franco, for 3 days straight, just reading names, they could make that full of angst and drama and vulnerability and just pure psychoness, and it'd be beautiful. And it'd be almost better to watch than the resolution of this storyline. And I was a big fan up until about Christmas time. It just really started to fall off the charts for Christmas, around Christmas time. They should have had him stalking Maxie. I'm okay with, you looked at Felicia and you said, oh, she granny. Okay, no. All right, I'm okay with that. I didn't agree with it, but I'll roll with it. But then he should have said, oh, look at this ditch. Oh, somebody got to kill her. Let me do it. And then stalking Maxie. Lulu should have been dead. They should have killed off. They're getting rid of Griffin. He's going anyway. Should have just shoved him off the damn roof 2 or 3 weeks early.
And here's the thing. Now, killing Griffin would have given more high stakes to Ava as well, because Ava was so torn up that her relationship with Kiki wasn't in the right place when Kiki got. And so that would have added more emotional stakes to Ava. Another thing is honestly, I feel like this should have been a little bit reminiscent of the Salem Stalker storyline. Hold my beer, because by that I do not mean killing characters like Bobby and Felicia and all that. What I mean by that is the body count. Because honestly, GH could kill a good 20 characters. I'm
Epiphany. I love her.
Don't be laughing when you know that.
And let her fight. Let her mark him up, because where did he go? What kind of Superman phone booth did that man get into every time he killed somebody and showed up 10 minutes later at the Metro Court? But go ahead. I cut you off and I apologize.
Not even Marlena made that run time after killing Aunt Maggie with that liquor bottle. It took her a good hour. It took her a whole day to get across town. It took her a whole episode to meet Caroline at the church to kill her. And so, you know, a lot of this did not make sense to me. GH is doing good with not rushing story. It's just they're not playing the beats, which is really weird, because taking a story slow and playing the beats kind of go hand in hand on a soap. But GH is just taking a story slow because they're writing it as they go along, it feels like. Honestly, their only saving graces on the writing team to me are Elizabeth Corte and Chris Van Etten. Shelley needs to get got. Shelley needs to get got. And so does Frank Valentini, okay? I am no longer here for Frank's mess. I'm sorry, I'm just not. You know, get Julie Hannon Carruthers in there, get Jean DeDarco Burke in there, get somebody in there. I am done with people getting hired in the parking lot. I am done.
What? Wait.
Just done with General Hospital.
There must be the only screaming matches with Chris in that writing room, because he's got to be tremendously frustrated. I know the story. I can feel it in my bones. And it's, you know, it's pretty impressive, if y'all know. I can feel it. There's a story that he wants to tell, and they're shooting him down in every direction. And then they're making up for the mistakes by opening up more. This is like Lost, circa 2000, what was it, 2009 or 10? This is like Lost, where there were so many storylines that are open and hanging that nobody can even remember how many storylines are out there right now.
You know, because here's the thing. We know Chris, every time there's something historical from GH's past, we know Chris Van Etten, because Shelley Altman can't even spell doppelganger. So we know that Chris is trying to show up. And this is very reminiscent to me about Margaret Dupree's time at Another World during the serial killer storyline, because it's famous that Margaret Dupree did not want to kill off the people Jill Farron's help suggested, you know, because originally it was going to be Donna who was going to get killed off on Another World, and then it was Paulina, and then Jill finally forced Margaret to kill Frankie. And so to me, Jill is the equivalent of Shelley and Frank, and Margaret is Chris, because they're twisting his arm to go along with their agenda, and he's just trying to make the show better. I really think Chris is trying to do backflips over there to get GH back to some form of good soap opera.
I do too, and I think they're tying his hands at the screening matches that must go on in that writing room. I truly believe it.
They're tying Chris's hands?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I believe that Chris has some phenomenal storyline ideas that just keep getting shot down or murked up so much that they're not even close to what his original plotline, you know, storyboard was. I'm
sorry. I don't want.
No, I was just going to say you see moments of it coming out, and then you're like, wait a minute. It disappears. And you're like, but that would have been awesome. What's going on?
Yeah. Totally agree. And, you know, Chris needs to be the head writer, and Elizabeth needs to be moved up. She needs to be promoted past a continuity editor. And we need to get GH back to some form of its former self, because let me tell you, honey, them Nielsen ratings, ooh, child, Lord, I never saw the day. I never could have dreamed the day where I saw GH getting a 1.67.
Oh, geez, don't tell me numbers. That makes me nervous.
Well, here's the thing.
Should.
We don't do better. That's the thing. Fans of GH will come when you write the story. Look at Ron. GH was sitting in the garbage at a 2.0 to 1.9 before Ron took over. And then all of a sudden, a 2.3 1 year later. Fans of GH will always come if you write the story. They're very much like Y&R fans. If you burn them, they're not coming back. But if you write the damn show like it's supposed to be written, they will come.
You know, they had the perfect opportunity with this serial killer storyline. And we all said it months and months and months ago. There's only been one historic serial killing storyline that ever worked. And if you're going to do it, take a look at Corinth, go back in time, pay attention, and do it the right way. And the first couple of months of, September, October, and November, there was the possibility, the momentum. And if it wasn't John Lindstrom, it would have been horrible in September, October, November. The only reason it wasn't is because he was so good at playing creepy duality. Mary Pat was a cute little gimmick. Peyton was a blatant mistake, and not killing Lulu killed your storyline. They should have had him chasing her all over that damn office. I would have preferred it on the Haunted Star, but, personally, but they should have had him chasing her all over that office, and had it bloody and framing Franco was also a brilliant way to pull in a brilliant actor, but wasting time with Griffin, they should have had that suspicion cast on Ava and had him scrambling to take the heat off of Ava because he was in love with her. When they were sitting in the office, and in come the ex-police commissioner, brother of Robert Scorpio, brother-in-law to Anna Devane, Super Spice number. Right. Oh, and let me get started on Anna in about a minute and a half. Okay, and Felicia, who in her own right was a little private detective and always, was always nosy enough, like Maxie, to get to the truth, even if it was backdoor, truth. And they didn't figure it out, and that when she was down in the parking lot with Ryan, he let her walk away. The storyline that was dead, it didn't even get a burial. They done just chucked it off the side of the Staten Island ferry and said, "See you later, bye." It didn't even get a proper burial. That's how dead it was at that point. Now, let me say about Anna Alex.
I have a question.
This whole mess of we were complaining and complaining and complaining. Who was patients 1 through 4? Because we didn't know that Drew was actually patient 5, but most of us were saying 1 through 5, but actually it was really 1 through 4. I like the idea that they actually brought Anna in to be patient 1 and Alex patient 2, or vice versa. Don't really matter which one is which. And Ryan but then it's so dumb. It could have been so hot. It is so damn dumb. And anything that gives me more Finola, I will always cheer and sing for. Except right now, I just don't care.
You don't care who the patients are.
There was more chemistry in that fake little where are they in Dubai, Mumbai, one of them buys over there. There was more chemistry between Robert Scorpio and Sonny Corinthos, who also, Lord forgive me, I love him, but give him a year vacation. Let him win a trip around the world and hand the mob over to somebody else for a year. Because I'm so tired of him and Carly, too. And for me to be saying these things really means something. But there was more chemistry over in one of them buys, Mumbai, Dubai, whatever buy it is, and that cute little boy that came on, than between Anna and a storyline that could be so hot. Okay, I'm done. Casey, take it away, baby. Oh, real quick, one more thing.
Go
if
ahead.
This somehow turns out that Shallow is involved in this patient 6 and all that, I'm done. General Hospital, I've been with you for, I'm not going to say how many years, I'll just say since I'm 3. Anybody look up my real age and I'll shoot you, but I'm done. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'll make this quick because we're running out of time. But let me tell you, I must
Yes,
be
we are.
patient 6,000. I must be patient 6,374 because there are too many damn patients for me to keep track on this show. I mean, the story to me started out interesting, but now it's just getting on my nerves because here we go again. I bet $10 this was a Chris story. And Shelley probably grabbed that outline from him and changed a couple words and said, "Here you go, Frank. I got a new story outline." And Chris was like, "What the hell you doing, Shelley?" Let me tell you. So I can see, like Anthony said, where you see flashes of Chris's storytelling. And if they would just let him write a full story, I bet he would do wonders with this story because it's such an interesting premise with the whole twin thing.
It is.
And here's the thing. I didn't know General Hospital had this many twins. You know, like I knew these characters existed, but now my head's hurting because there's that. I mean, my God. I'm like, well, no wonder y'all got cast members. It's because of all these damn twins. And so, anyway, I want to see where this story goes, but I swear on heaven, on earth, on Helena Cassadine's grave, if it turns out to be another one of these stupid 8-month plot lines from General Hospital, I may check out again too. Because look, I take breaks with GH. I really do. My last break lasted 5 months. Don't test me, GH. Don't test me, girl. I'm telling you right now. And another thing, real quick, before we go to final thoughts, I gotta talk about this Carly thing. Being pregnant.
Yes.
That is so stupid. Rachel Corrie got pregnant on Another World. The show got canceled. Reva Shane got pregnant. The show got canceled. Look, girl, Carly best do a jackknife down them Quartermain stairs again because I'm not here. I'm not here for 47-year-old Laurel to crank out a replacement baby. It is sad that Morgan's dead. It is sad that he loved penguins. But let me tell you, I don't need a replacement baby, and nor do we need another Carson baby. Nell best be ready to push a bitch down some stairs because I'm not here for it. That's all I will say about that.
Okay, guys, closing thoughts?
I'm afraid to speak again because I'm so off on GH again.
I would like to once again thank Andrea Evans. For me personally, it was absolutely one of my bucket list items crossed off. Her documentary, Rocking the Couch, is not a must-see. It is a you better damn see that piece of work. And as for our shows, we'll be back in 2 weeks, and I'm sure we'll be saying the same damn things, unfortunately.
Yep, probably.
Carolyn?
Well, it's been a great show, but next time I don't think you guys should hold back.
Oh.
Carolyn, you tried to
let
get
it all hang out.
Yeah, you guys let it all hang out and get those scripts going.
Casey?
So, Carolyn, don't tell us we can let that loose, girl. You're going to get us in trouble on the Twitter. But anyway, definitely, all joking aside, on a serious note, please go and watch Andrea's documentary, please. Like Anthony said, it is not a must-see. It is, you better see, or else I'm going to push you down those stairs with Carly. It is very important, very timely, and it does shed a light on what has happened not just in our culture right now, but what it's been like for decades. So please,
that's right.
Please, I beg.
Right.
Feedback. Leave them comments.
Yes, and leave a review. Yes, watch and please leave a kind review on Amazon.
David?
Thank you, Andrea Evans, for coming on tonight. And I'd like to thank you three for joining me tonight. You were all wonderful. Anthony, thank you so much for taking the lead.
Thoughts and prayers with Pam and Candace, who's stuck at work, but Pam, who's in the tornado zone. I hope Mother Nature
Yeah.
is pissed at you. See you guys in 2 weeks.
See you in 2
safe,
weeks.
Pam. Be safe.
Bye, guys.
Have a great weekend.
Good night, everybody.
Night.